get this Ram a 2.4 drop so it'll look right on the 22s we put on it and get rid of them step bars. I mean, my buddy's 6'4", you don't really need him to get in and out. Let's do this. My buddy Court's 2011 Ram, custom grill, all clear lights. That's a stock height, tire size. Came from the RT10 Ram of this year. We don't need all this. Definitely don't need those. Take the pawpaw out of the truck. Definitely really don't need this. It's got built-in shock and muffler delete. We've been kind of tinkering with it here and there, like long before I started this YouTube channel, because he bought it new in 11. The truck's just clean. The wheels fit well. The exhaust pipes are stock, but all the sound comes out of them now. And we just need to kind of squeeze that gap. So we're going to do a 4-inch drop in the rear and a 2-inch drop in the front. Get it to sit low and level. Not low rider low, sport truck low. Something that'll handle well, still drive down the street with it, and it'll handle a pothole because this is Southeast Louisiana. So let's get this thing up on the lift, swap the springs out, see what it looks like. On the rack, got some brand new Bilstein 4600s on it. Got these boxes about 2 or 3 months ago. Street Edge from my favorite place where you get all the deals. These look like the fronts, kind of a heavier coil. Nice powder coated gray springs. Today's January 2nd, 2026, and we got a hot day. Well, Court's in a t-shirt, and we're knocking this out in the modified shop. That's the front springs, gray, some new bump stops, and the rear box. One-handed progressives, check that out. Nice new beefy rear bump stop, rear sway bar. You see those are kind of long, definitely some shorter ones. Dude, this truck's gonna handle like it's on rails. What to do now? Take off this long rear sway bar mount and the shock mount, drop the axle down, let the springs fall out of place, put them back in, move on to the front. So we're gonna attack it like this. Got the truck on the left. It's on the left, but we're down low because I'm scared to death of shit falling off this lift. And I got the rear axle supported by some jack stands. What's holding the axle in is the shock's at its limit and the sway bar link. It's got room to go back up and down, but we got to change those anyway. They got shorter ones in the kit. That is my plan of action. Pair of 21 millimeters. So now you get an 8 and an 18. And in the top, same size. With everything out the way, I can just press the button on the lift and the rear end will come down. The springs will just fall right out. I mean, don't get no easier than that, right? It's a new spring. It's progressive rate. It's got tight coils and loose coils. Help the ride. Also help it lower. It's smaller here than it is here. The big part goes up. The small part goes onto the axle. So as it goes down, it'll center up. I'm gonna go get the other side. Coils are in. We're going back down. Make sure they center on the hole there, and then let it all the way down. All right, with the lift sitting on the locks, I will just go ahead and manually push up the shocks, slide the bolts back in. All right, ready to shove the bolt through. So with both the springs in place, the shock's holding them in. I can go back up in the air and finish tying in the panhard rod with the little bracket. There's no instructions with this kit when it comes to the rear. This right here is where your panhard rod goes. Since we're dropping the axle, you got to relocate where this panhard rod goes to keep the axle centered. This has had this weird ear on it. It's kind of crazy looking. So you kind of feed it up into the bottom, and this goes in the top. I'll show you. Just kind of goes up in there and slides up. And this relocates into that hole. You put you a spacer and some bolts, and there's a hole in here. There's also a hole in the top up here. You drop your next bolt in. That's how it goes in. As usual, I've never done this before, but I've kind of done this before. So this is your spacer bolt. It takes up about the difference of the width of the panhard rod. You get this bag of bolts and you just kind of figure out which one goes where. So I know the smaller one's got to drop in through the top up here. So it's like about a 3/8 by 1.25 inch, grade 8, a nylock for it. Here's your grade 8. Looks like it goes in here. Hey, look at that. And they gave you washers. I'm a sucker for washers, if y'all know me. Factory bolt with a captured nut. Slide your spacer in. Stock hardware in. Captured nut. So the rear axle can actually slide left and right. So we have to pull the axle back to get this bolt to line up. So let's go ahead and get it all loosely fitted. This bolt down through here. Snug it all up. This is going to be a 9/16 on a 3/8 bolt. Snug this up, and then I'll probably grab a ratchet strap and go from this to the frame and pull the whole axle over so I can get this bolt to line up. Sway bar mount for the win. If it comes over there, we got bigger problems.
Oh, it's moving.
Oh, it's moving. One more click, huh? Look at that.
Like a glove?
Look good. Like I said, I like my washers. Got to disperse the torque. There we go. Now that's going to hold the rear end. I'll lightly install the nut on the back with the washer. Nylock, of course. Panhard rod. The 6 chachoots means it's a standard size bolt. It's a grade 8. Let's go on the front with a 13/16. Catch the back with a 7/8. There we go. In the kit, they gave it this longer bolt. Throw a washer on the head. Washer on the back. And a lock nut. And the sway bar will still reach. That's straight up and down on the backside. That sway bar is important when you got coil springs. It helps preload the other side. Thicker sway bar makes it stiffer. I'm just going to stop right there with that one. So these come in the kit. They're just the foam kind of factory, I guess, shorter. And there's some notches in here that's supposed to hold them in place. And they just kind of press in. Give them a spin. That's that. Got the Bilsteins bolted in. Got the progressive rate springs. Little bump stop to give you with the kit. And the shorter sway bar end links. It came with this plate. Have no idea what it's for. There's no instructions. I can't see where we would actually use it under here. That's the factory location. This is the rear locate. It's on the back side and the bolt on the bottom in there. Goes with the one on the top. So the springs are in their home. The shocks just kind of hold everything together. So let's get the front done now. I'm going to take off the sway bar. I got the other side taken off already. I used a 7mm for up here to hold it kind of still. And a 16. Just kind of break it loose. Just gotta take off the washer on the top. Since the other side's done, it just pivots out the way, it gets out of your way. I had the upper loose. Got the brake line loose. I'm going to leave the bottom connected because you would have to compress the lower to get the spring out of the spindle. But the upper, I'm just going to break the nut loose and just, you bang it right here in this little point and it pops off using the spring's downforce. I got my transmission jack, so it's got something to fall on. I'll roll that underneath it so I don't die. So up here, we're going to hold this with a 10mm and take this off with, I believe it's an 18. So I'm gonna run this pretty far down to where there's barely anything showing. And I'm gonna hit it with a little vibration, pop out of the socket because the spring's got pressure down on it, but my transmission jack's gonna catch everything. All right, so I'm about 1 inch down on that. I got a good little 1/2 inch gap there. If you tap it right here in that crease, that's it. So now I'll probably need that 3/8 backup because it'll want to spin. I already removed the brake caliper. Got some baling wire and stuck it to the frame just so I can have some room with the brake line when it drops to get the spring out. There we go. I take this speed sensor loose. Get as much room as you can. This just kind of popped up out the way for me. Now I'll go ahead and just let this down. It'll probably hover. It won't come all the way. Yeah, it's just sitting there. So with the danger out the way, I'll just move the transmission jack. The drop spring goes in pretty easy just because it's lower. There we go. Remember to transfer your rubber isolator over so you don't get all kind of noises. Top and the bottom. The top's going to be kind of flat. The bottom's going to be a little open. It's going to sit in the hole in the lower control arm here. So I'll just put this insulator back on, isolator, whatever you want to call them. Feed this back up in here. Right there. That hole. I can kind of block it with my finger. So just make sure the tip of the spring sits in that hole. It's kind of like a drain. Rinse, repeat, put it back together how we took it apart. So go ahead and roll the transmission jack back underneath it, pick it all up, and put it all back together. This is a Stellantis vehicle. It's good and tight. Just going to pull back down. Again. There you go. And we'll go ahead and swap out the rubbers on the top. The bottoms are fine. Put on your rubber first. These are those energy suspension ones that you can get individually. I didn't see the point in changing everything because the bottom's still tight. The truck was mainly interstate driven. So the drop will probably give them a little better fuel economy. And at the same time, it'll definitely help. Well, the suspension parts won't wear out because it's been such an interstate driven truck. Everything's still tight. I gotta get the other side while I get this side. We're just gonna push this down. Top washer, top nut. Pull it and put it all together. Go ahead and reinstall the shock. This is kind of like a Chevy front end. It just kind of goes together about the same, really. Get one of these started. Run these in there. So the last thing I got to do is cut this. This is the step off for the factory bump stop. So I'll go ahead and cut that off. The new ones, there's already a hole here. Got my Diablo torch. Very nice. Dude, that blade is freaking awesome.
No hotness?
No hotness. So we're going to go back with these energy suspension.
What's up?
9/16 deep socket. Just like I put on Project Slick Dog. Nice stiff goodness. This is what they gave you in the kit. Some kind of foam. They're kind of stiff, but I mean, polygraphite, it's no question. Got the bump stop cut off, shock reinstalled, drop spring installed. Got the brakes put back on, sway bar put back on. Rear suspension's done. Throw some wheels on to put on the ground, see what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these pawpaw step bars because they were no longer necessary, but I don't feel the need to put that on camera. It's just some bolts back here. And then it disappears. All right, let's check out the drop. Yeah. Oh, very nice. So y'all was building sport trucks now, y'all. That's an appropriate fender well gap, if I do say so myself. The front will settle when you back it up a little bit. But now them 22s looking home on this truck. Let's back it up on the street and take a look at it. Yeah, that front end settled nice. That's what we were looking for. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. 2.4 drop under ram. We'll get some better shots of it, some rollers of it when it's not dark outside. Thank y'all for watching Modify. Catch y'all next week. That's Project RAMROD, and we did a 2.4 drop on it, some brakes a little while ago, and some upgraded 22x10s. It's in the last video. I try to do this once a week. Catch y'all next week. Later.